incarceration and its policies, this was President Trump's response. The AI-generated video features President Trump in a crown, flying a fighter jet emblazoned with King Trump on its side. The president then appears to dump raw sewage on protesters. This new wave of No Kings rallies, as they're called, boasted nearly 7 million attendees across 50 states. With us now, Republican strategist Doug Heye and former press secretary to then Vice President Joe Biden, Kendra Barkoff. Kendra, let me just start with you. What do you think these protests showed this weekend?
Well, they showed that people are unhappy with Donald Trump's policies. You had more than 7 million people coming out in 50 states across the country. They are angry. People voted Donald Trump to lower gas prices, to lower grocery prices, and that is clearly...
Shalom. This relates to all praise Yahweh Shemir Shabbat Makagadash. This relates to Trump mocks the New Kings rallies with a vulgar AI-generated media video post, showing that throwing excrement or sewage on protesters across the country. It's a CNN report. Quick, in other news, you seeing top generals relating to using chat GBT to make crucial or critical relating to military decisions. You also having and that post relating to Donald Trump was the AI generated. That's him in a flying fighter jet dropping sewage on No Kings protesters. Pretty much, or they call it a H America protest as well. Another one that's on a certain size call, and that No Kings protest basically is we don't want no king or dictator relating to that. Scripture talks about Deuteronomy 20. Talk about it should be let me see something relating to a cruel Lord. Let me get the scripture real quick. Yeah, 19:4 of Isaiah. The Egyptians will I give over to a hand of a cruel Lord. Cruel is harsh, fierce, savage. And the king shall rule over them, and saith the Lord, in the Lord of hosts, man. That's 19:4 of Isaiah. So you're going to have a Lord. Scripture talks about he shall not regard young or old. That's in Deuteronomy 28. So a cruel Lord, man. So he has no regard, no remorse, no regard relating to relating to young or old. You know what I mean? Relating to the No Kings protest, that's what's going on with that. That was a AI generated video. So that's something you see in a lot of AI generated videos put out on different things. You know what I mean? So that's related to the AI and the deep fake stuff like that. So that's a big issue with that. You're also having there's a post relating to millionaires that sold America to billionaires. The top 5 billionaires: Rothschilds, Rockefellers, DuPonts, Harriman, the Wahlberg, and the Gettys, and different things. So they all relating to, for example, the Harriman. The Harriman relates to that family relates to a railroad, and the Wahlberg family, they related to they related to their money's mostly from banking plus different other entities such as botany, biochemistry, various other venues. So Getty's are oil, DuPont's paints, the Rothschilds, they would be the equivalent American version of the Rothschilds. So these are major families that pretty much multimillionaires, they bought off multimillionaires related to America. That was on a post. That was just an example of families relating to that. I seen that on a post. Also seen relating to EU, relating to the biometric digital ID, related to American citizens going over there if they refuse to use relating to the system, the biometric system, they will be won't be able to enter related to the entrance space related to Europe. So because you have the biometric digital system, and that was on a post. You having what else you have? Is it biometric digital ID pretty much? I've seen something else. Related to that family, the Warburg family, they're German Jewish descent, Venetian. Mostly their wealth is mostly from banking. And the Harrimans, most of their wealth is from railroad. He made a profit relating to selling to the Pennsylvania Railroad, considerable profit. So his money mostly from railroad. That's the different families relating to how they got their money and different things. You had a strike relating to Venezuela. Continued strikes relating to the narco or the cartel relating to the Venezuela. U.S. strikes related to the narco strikes related to these U-boats, related to drug U-boats and stuff. So that's continuing. You having Zelensky's reaction relating to continuation related to this war with Ukraine and Putin. Pretty much from a body language aspect, his dissatisfaction relating to that. So, and trying to negotiate relating to ending that particular war related to Putin. So they're pretty much opposition. What else you have? There's a thing I've seen relating to possibly insufficient funds, allegedly relating to food stamps, allegedly November 1. I've seen a lot of videos related to that. Allegedly. So we'll see what happens with that. As the continuation related to the government shutdown could affect related to sufficient funds related to that program, possibly. You having related to the Gaza situation as far as release of hostages. The amount are not being released in the way they supposed to or agreed to. So you're seeing problems with that related to that. There's supposed to be a certain amount that's supposed to be released, and only probably half of that's being released. So, and you should know that when you deal with a certain entity, man, Scripture talks about never trust thy enemy, as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. That when you deal with a certain organization or group, don't expect them to be, straightforward. Straightforward to be be honest as far as them keeping their word, or doing what they say they're going to do, because they could turn around and not do it, man. Especially when you deal with somebody like, for example, Hamas, or these entities like that, who really have no regard in dealing with who they're dealing with. Their interests are contrary, and really, it was a thing talking about, we don't want to disarm, we want to maintain our arms and different things. So, they might say one thing, and even Scripture talks about, they speak with like butter, but in their heart, they war in their heart, man. Psalms 55, 20, 21. So they speak with smooth words, but but in their intent, which is their heart, their intent or their heart is totally contrary, man. So they're not being honest, So, but that's a T group, so that's a T group. You deal with a T group, so they're not going to be honest. So relating to that, plus let me see with this bloody weekend in Gaza as clashes threaten Israel-Hamas ceasefire. So they always talk about in that area being peace. There can't be no peace. It's never going to be no peace in that area. Even though that's their goal to have peace, but the reality is it's not. When they seek a peace, they shall find none. As Scripture says, Ezekiel 7:25. Destruction coming, they shall seek peace but find none. So they're going to seek peace, but the operative word is that they're not going to find none, man. Now, the government shutdown continues. This is going into 3 weeks. It's a report, USA 9 report. US 9 report. So Scripture talks about knowing this in the last days, that perilous times shall come. We in perilous times, dangerous, troublesome times, man. We having all kinds of things happen all across the country, man. China's cracked down on Christians. Underground church raided. So that goes to persecution, man. Related to your belief in faith, man. This is a report here. When the Scriptures talk about that, they shall 16 talk about they should be a great insurrection of those who fear in the God, man. Let me get it real quick. 16 of second address. The 16 of second address is going to be real quick. This goes around 1670, 74. It relates to impending persecution upon the believers. That's what those verses go to. There shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection, violent uprising upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoil and destroying those that fear the Lord. That goes to the persecution, man. Occupying, sieging, invading, And for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. So they're gonna invade, siege, occupy, and remove them from them spaces, man. They shall be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire, man. So that goes to the believers, man. persecution upon the believers. Now that report talks about, you know what I mean, underground church being raided, man. So that being raided relating to their belief. That goes to persecution. Persecution and persecuted for their beliefs. Let's go to that's China's crackdown on Christians. That's in China, man. That being said, this is something quick, real quick. Just a couple of reports. Hope it helps relate to information. All praise Yahbashim Yahbashim Kakadash. Honors to ones who teach this truth and knowledge. Know this truth and knowledge. And hope it helps relate to information. Informative relating to information. Desire Shalom.